Sai Ram, I offer my loving pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba and Satguru Shri Siddheshwar Baba. Today in this video, we will talk about the 7 spiritual practices told by Satguru Shri Siddheshwar Baba which we should follow for our spiritual progress. Gurudev referred spirituality as the most perfect science of mind. The spiritual practices cure the mind as nothing else does. As mind and various conflicts in it cause various physical diseases also, so the spiritual practices should be considered as a cure for many physical diseases also. The first and most preliminary spiritual practice is prayer to God. A regular prayer for 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes before going to bed can work wonders. The prayer may consist of anything, certain words in God's praise or certain words to seek His mercy, compassion and nearness. Prayer should be done with deep devotion and with a sense of surrender and complete attention to Him. One can pray to the formless God or to the chosen God with a form. Apart from these regular prayers in the morning and evening, one should pray to God in all matters concerning one's life. For example, if one falls ill, then one should first pray to God for cure and then seek a doctor's help and take medicines. These days, we remember God only in the last when everything else fails. This is a great mistake. We should remember Him first and then the next step should be taken. There is another type of prayer called special prayer. Guruji rated it higher than even jap or meditation. An ordinary prayer is a routine affair. We do it as a matter of habit. Because of the routine, we seldom achieve a state of closeness with God. We seldom utter the words from an agonizing hurt or a loveful attitude. In such a prayer, we seldom feel a state of complete surrender towards Him. On the other hand, the special prayer takes place in some of the highly emotionally charged situations. During such situations, one instantly surrenders to God and prays to Him with the deepest of feelings for help. This prayer with complete surrender is heard immediately by God. This is indeed a special prayer and one of the very potent spiritual practices. Second spiritual practice is bhajans. Bhajans means singing hymns in God's glory with full devotion and rhythm. Gurudev have found that singing God's glories in musical voice has great psychological benefits like it uplifts the mind and slowly destroys the lower mental formations. There are many kinds of singing, but Guruji suggested mainly 3 types of singing that should be followed by people as far as possible. The first is early morning Nagar Sankirtan. For this, right time is when the day is dawning and the sparrows are chirping. At this time, some people can get together and in orderly rows can march in the vicinity singing glories of the Almighty Creator. This exercise of early morning singing gives instant happiness and prepare us for a good day. This also helps others who listen to it while lying on their beds and it also purifies the environment. The second is group singing. It is always better that these bhajans are organized on rotation basis in different families so that everybody feels not only involved but also feels that he equally belongs to God. Third is individual bhajans. The path of spirituality is indeed an individual path. Apart from the other 2 types of bhajans, the best thing would be to sit for some time quite alone with God. Close all the doors and other avenues of disturbance and distractions. Weep before Him and sing some bhajans with the purest of heart. Remember Him intensely and get lost into His love while singing His glory. It should be done in a state of complete surrender and all alone. Once we start bhajans in this manner, we have certainly taken a step towards spirituality. Third spiritual practice is Nam Smran. This practice has been described as the most effective in this Kali Yuga. This practice means the repetition of any name of God for as many times and as long as possible each day. One can chant Ram 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 or Hari 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 or Sai Ram Sai Ram Sai Ram or any other name which appeals to him. Nam Smran has been often described as the golden key which can open the gates of heaven. Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba has said that I shall give you one prescription which will give you the peace and contentment which you seek. It is Nam Smran. Nam Smran is that thunderbolt which can pulverize even the big rocks of mental formation and can liberate the jiva. Fourth spiritual practice is Jap. Jap is the repetition of a collection of words known as mantra. The repetition of the highly charged spiritual words over a period of time pulls down the strongest bricks of the ego. It cleanses, purifies, and uplifts the mind and make it more and more fit for the God realization. The jap can be done at any time. One can do it even while taking a stroll or morning walk. Most of the spiritual practices relate to sound and concentration or dhyan. In jap also, attempt should be made to combine the two. Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba has said that by dhyan you develop gyan and by jap you develop bhakti and by both you cleanse your heart from ego. Fifth, very important spiritual practice is Nishkam Seva or desireless service. It is serving others without any desire or the idea of return. Selfless service has been given a very high place among the various spiritual practices. Today, a modern civilized man cannot even think of doing any action for others without some selfish motive or desire for some gain. So in present world, it becomes even more important to do selfless service, as this slowly and steadily leads to a state of surrender which in itself represents a very big gain. Sixth spiritual practice is talking about the glories of God with form. It is one of the most important and significant spiritual practices which can deliver some quick results. God is bliss. Talking about His glories can immediately connect us with Him. This connection produces Anand and occasionally creates in us the state of Samadhi, in which we can be completely forgetful of our own worldly existence and at the same time can be completely conscious of His existence. This is indeed one of the simplest way to achieve the highest spiritual benefits in less time. The example of this is the story of Parikshit, who achieved mukti in 7 days without following any laborious techniques of spiritualism to attain it. The seventh and perhaps the most important spiritual practice is meditation. It can lead to a direct vision of God, thus resulting in God realization or self-realization. There are numerous techniques of meditation. The one which Gurudev have practiced is given in detail in the book Psychoanalysis and Meditation Volume 1. For more knowledge on these topics, you can read books which are written by Guruji himself, like Psychoanalysis and Meditation Volume 1, Third Eye and Kundalini, Sadhana Path, Dhyan Path, etc. Jai Sai Ram.